So, you're applying to job after job after job. You got a response. You fill out some follow-up questions. They email you again. They want to interview you. Holy shoot. You pinch yourself because you don't believe this is actually happening. You've applied to at least 1,000 positions and you've gotten nowhere. So now what? You've never gotten this far. The panic sets in. You hear sirens in the distance. I'm just kidding about the last part. But this is the exact thing I went through last summer. And while I learned a lot and it got me to a place where I ended up deciding I just wanted to freelance, it was a lot. I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I absolutely failed one interview. Luckily, that job it didn't end up being something I wanted to do, so it was okay. So wrecking the interview didn't matter in the end, but it was still a good learning experience. So I'm here to advise you on how to prep and absolutely kill your interview. If you can't tell by the everything about me, I'm questionably confident in myself. It's both a blessing and a curse because I tend to just wing things and they tend to work out. But this is a terrible plan for job interviews, which I learned the hard way. Being likable is important, but there's a lot more that goes into doing well in a job interview. So, step 1 is to prepare. Do yourself a solid and prepare for your interview. This seems simple, but it's necessary. Make sure you have the time of the interview written down in more than one place and double, triple check the time zone. Tell at least one person about your interview. Hopefully they'll send you some good vibes. They might check in. Hey, how are you feeling about your interview? And if you happen to forget, boom, reminder, without even asking someone to remind you. Plus, you just have that support that actually goes a long way. If you get to the point that you are asked to interview, that's a huge accomplishment, so don't keep it a secret because you're afraid to fail and you don't want people to know. Tell people you trust so that they can help you any way they can and support you and encourage you. So I also would suggest that you pick out your outfit. Even if it's a Zoom interview and they're only going to see here up, the better you feel about yourself, the better you're going to present yourself and you're going to perform better. Anytime I have a big day ahead of me, I take my time doing my hair and my makeup because it makes me feel better throughout the entire day, which there's not a huge difference in the way I look, but for some reason it just gives me extra confidence. So if your interview is a Zoom interview, make sure that your Wi-Fi, your connection's good, you have a device that's gonna work, it's not gonna fail on you. Do a little technical test run, make sure your AirPods are working wherever you are. If you need to go somewhere else in public to get better connection, do a little test, FaceTime somebody, see how it goes, see if they can hear you. All of that because, we've all been in a Zoom meeting where connection's bad or you can't hear, you can't see, and it's so frustrating. So just make sure that none of that happens. And last but most important is research the company and the position you applied for. So many interviews start off with, so what do you know about the company? Or what interested you about this position? And if you completely spaced on what position you even applied for or who the heck this company is, this is gonna not go well. So know the facts about the company and the job posting. This can be exhausting when you're just on LinkedIn, easy applying to every single job with the keyword that you need in it. So if you get to the point of an interview, make sure you go back, remember why did I apply for this? What is this? Where is this? Because it's gonna be pretty obvious if you have no idea what they're talking about. So what I do now is I typically write up a little Google Doc with the position, the keywords, the company, their values, and because then you can say, oh, I love that it's a new company, or yeah, I really resonate with the core values because this, and this. And then they're like, dang, she prepared, she knows. Also, make a little note of questions you might ask at the end of the interview because they always ask any questions, and it's awkward when you're like, nope, even though typically you don't. The questions you probably have are how much are you gonna pay me, or I don't know, stuff like that. What's holiday like? Because the day-to-day at this point, as a recent grad, you don't really care, you just want a job. So examples would be what's the culture of the office like? Or what would my typical day look like? Or what's your favorite part about working there? Something like that. A little bit of brown nosing, but not too much. So step 2 is during the actual interview. What to do. This is the easy part. Just answer their questions and be yourself. If you prepared thoroughly, this will be a breeze. Obviously, thank them for their time and giving you the opportunity to interview. And body language is important even on Zoom. Make sure that you're looking in the camera, paying attention, you're not fidgeting too much. I struggle with that, but my trick to that is also brings me to my next suggestion would be to take notes when they're telling you, I don't know, the structure of the job or the hierarchy, how all that works. A lot of times they give you like all these facts that you like really don't care about until later, and then you're like, what? I forget how this works. So take notes on paper, on your laptop, maybe even tell them, oh, I'm taking notes by the way if I'm looking down. And then that kind of gives you something to do so that you're not so much like, I don't know, squirrely like me. Plus, they don't know what you're writing down. You could be doodling. Who knows? But you look professional. It's totally fine to have a glass of water or a drink with you. Definitely don't eat or chew gum. So step 3 is after the interview. Just because your interview's over doesn't mean it's over. Make sure the notes you wrote are readable and they make sense. If you need to go rewrite them, do it. It takes 5 minutes. Next, send a thank you email to whoever interviewed you or whoever connected you with the job. Say, thanks for taking the time, thanks for hooking me up. I was nervous, but I think it went really well, whatever. It depends on who you're writing the email to. And then it's time to give yourself a pat on the back because you did it. You got through an interview. That's a really big deal. If the job is meant to be, they'll invite you to continue to the next step. If it's not meant to be, hopefully they'll have the courtesy to tell you that you won't be moving forward. And if that's the case, take what you can away from the experience and move on and don't get down on yourself. If it's appropriate, you could totally respond and ask if they have any helpful criticism of maybe why you didn't get the job. Was it something, did you not have enough experience? Did you answer the interview questions wrong? Like, what exactly happened? And come from a place that you're trying to get better and you're trying to improve, not out of a place of anger. I've actually never been denied that request of asking for feedback. Don't get caught up in replaying your interview in your mind over and over again. It's over. Don't stress about something that's over. Remember, you're capable and qualified and amazing, whether or not you get the job. Believe in yourself. Strive to keep on becoming better and better every single day. The right job will eventually find you as long as you continue to work hard and believe in yourself. The right job will come to you as long as you remain resilient and continue to work hard. You go, girl.